Hi, in this video, I'll explain you what a function is with an example. In the previous video, we saw that a function is a kind of machine. It works like a machine. It accepts something in as input value, and then that machine work on your input value and it gives you something as output value. So your function is a kind of machine. But one key point is here: for every input value, your machine gives you a single output value. Then your machine is an example of a function. Then your machine is describing the function. If your machine is not giving you a single output for every input, for every individual input, if your machine is not going to give you a single output, then your machine is not describing the function. So you must have a single output value for every input value. So if your output is more than one for a single input, then this is not describing a function. So here I'm going to use some symbols to model this definition into mathematics. So I have x here, symbol x for my input value, and x can be any valid value for which this machine is designed. So you can't take something for which that machine is not designed, so that is out of your domain. So all the possible values that you can put into your machine will be called the domain. So we can say that your domain is a set for which your machine is designed. So all the values that can be put into your machine is called the domain. So all the possible values that you can obtain from that machine by putting the input values is called the range of your machine. So this is your range of your machine. The like output, or you can say that the product set, the product of your machine is actually the range of your machine here. So here I'm going to explain this idea that for every input value, your machine must have a single output value with an example. So this is very, very interesting. After this video, in the coming videos, I will tell you the 4 ways to express the functions and some mathematical examples of functions and how to manipulate with functions and algebra of functions. So let's jump into the example of a function. So here I have a statement. So you have to tell me whether this statement is a function or not. So the statement is your input value is name of a month and your output value is number of days in that month in 2005. So whatever month you put, you will have a single output. For example, let's say you put December, so you will have the output value 31 days. So if you put June, let's say, you will have a single output value that is 30 days. So it is 31 days. Here is 30 days for June. So whatever month you put into your domain, so you will obtain a single output value for every month. So every unique number of days for every month. So so how many values that you can put into the input place? So you can sorry, take all the 12 months can be put into the input values. So your domain is all 12 months of the year, and your output values will be either you can have 31 days, 30 days, or 28 days. For example, for the Feb, you will have 28 days. So all the possible values that you can take in your range is 28 days, you can 30 days and 31 days can be obtained by putting all the possible values. So this statement describes the function, because for every input value you have a unique output value. So your range is 30. A set consists of 3 values, that is 28 days and 30 days, 31 days, and your input value is all the 12 months from Jan to December. So 12 months is your input value, is the set of domain. So let's go to another example in which we see that your statement is not going to be a function anymore. So let's see this. So this statement, let's check. So now you have to check by yourself first whether this statement is describing the function or not describing the function. So take 10 seconds and find your answer. Okay, here your input value is a positive integer. Okay, you can put a positive integer, and your output will be name of month with a number of days equal to the input. So you can put any number and you will get the name of the month. Okay, so if you put, let's say 30, let's say you put the 30, you will get three outputs, because April is also of 30 days, June is also of 30 days, and September is also of 30 days. If your input value is, let's say 30, then in your output you have April for a single input value, April, you have September, you have June. So April, September and June. So your single input value is giving you three outputs. So your output is not unique here. So this statement is not describing the function. So now you understood that what a function is actually. So a function is actually a relation between two sets in which every input value gives you a unique output value. Unique mean your every input value giving you a single output value. So this is not describing the function here. So one more example for you. So let's see this one. So this is your another example. Now here you have to check whether this statement is a function or not. So your input is a positive integer. Okay, and your output value is a perfect square, that is less than the input value, and you know what are the perfect square. Okay, so a positive integer, you can put a positive integer. Let's say you can understand it with an example. Let's take a positive integer 10. Now you have output should be of a perfect square that is less than your input value. So now you have to list all the perfect square that are less than your input value. So you know 0 is a perfect square that is less than your input value 10. 1 is also a perfect square that is less than your input value 10. 4 is also a perfect square which is less than your input value 10, and 9 is also a perfect square which is less than your input value. So when you put in 10 as your domain, you are going to get 4 outputs for a single input value. So again, this statement is not describing the function. So you be careful. You must understand when a statement is describing the function and when a statement is not describing the function. So I stop here. In the coming videos, I will give you some more mathematical examples of functions, and then we will move on to some algebra of functions. So if this video is useful for you, then please like and subscribe this channel for coming videos. Thank you.